Every gardener dreams of rich, dark, crumbly soil alive with earthworms. They are nature's little soil builders, turning waste into life, and their presence is one of the clearest signs of a healthy garden. But what if I told you there's a simple, everyday item you can bury that doesn't just attract worms, it makes them compete, wriggle, and fight over it like kids over candy? The secret is coffee grounds, and when used correctly, they become a magnet for earthworms, supercharging your soil and your crops. Earthworms thrive on organic matter, but coffee grounds are something special. They're rich in nitrogen, which worms crave, and they have a fine, soft texture that makes them easy to consume. Worms digest grounds quickly and leave behind nutrient-rich castings that act like natural fertilizer. But what really draws them in is the way coffee grounds heat up slightly as they decompose, creating a cozy environment worms can't resist. If you've ever sprinkled coffee grounds on the soil surface and noticed worms clustering beneath, you've already seen this magic in action. But when you bury them strategically, the effect multiplies, turning your garden bed into a worm playground. The trick isn't just tossing coffee grounds anywhere. Used the wrong way, grounds can clump, form a crust, and even block water from reaching plant roots. To make them worm-friendly, they need to be diluted and balanced with other organic matter. Here's the formula that works best. Take 2 cups of used coffee grounds and mix them into 1 gallon of water. Stir well until the mixture looks like a weak, earthy tea. This liquid version of coffee grounds can be poured directly into the soil or around the base of plants. The water helps spread the nitrogen evenly, softens the grounds, and carries the scent deep into the soil where worms will sense it and come running. If you prefer to bury grounds directly, just dig a shallow trench about 3 inches deep, sprinkle the grounds in a thin layer and then cover them with soil. That thin cover ensures the grounds decompose naturally without forming a hard surface. Worms thrive on a balanced diet just like we do. While coffee grounds provide nitrogen, they also need carbon-rich materials to balance the meal. Adding shredded dry leaves, torn-up cardboard, or straw into the same trench as your coffee grounds keeps the worms coming back. This mix prevents acidity from building up and creates a spongy, breathable soil texture that worms love to tunnel through. Think of it as building a buffet. Coffee grounds are the main dish, but the carbon materials are the side dishes that make the meal complete. The more balanced the buffet, the more worms you'll attract, and the longer they'll stay. When worms swarm to one area to feed, they do more than just digest the material. Their constant movement loosens compacted soil, improves drainage, and pulls oxygen deeper into the ground. Each worm leaves behind tiny tunnels that act like highways for roots and water. And their castings, worm manure, are packed with plant-available nutrients like phosphorus, potassium, and trace minerals. This means that every time you bury coffee grounds, you're not just feeding worms. You're turbocharging the soil life cycle. Worms fight over the grounds because they break down quickly, and in the process, your crops benefit from the healthiest soil environment possible. Some gardeners overdo it with coffee grounds, thinking more is better, but dumping large piles can actually do harm. Grounds in thick layers may go moldy or create a dense mat that suffocates soil life instead of feeding it. That's why moderation and mixing are so important. Another mistake is using only fresh coffee grounds. Fresh grounds are more acidic and, honestly, less appealing to worms. Always stick with used grounds, which are closer to neutral in pH and, a lot safer for both soil and plants. If you really want to make worms fight over your garden soil, try combining coffee grounds with other kitchen scraps. Banana peels, cucumber ends, and melon rinds are just irresistible to worms. So chop them into small pieces, mix them with your diluted coffee grounds, and bury them just a few inches deep. Within days, you'll notice an explosion of worm activity. This approach not only feeds worms but also recycles kitchen waste that would otherwise end up in the trash. It's a win for your garden, a win for the environment, and honestly, a win for your crops too. Consistency is key. Adding coffee grounds to your garden once or maybe twice a month is really enough to keep worm populations thriving. And over time you'll start to notice the soil becoming darker, looser, and just richer in organic matter. Your crops will grow stronger, the root systems will dive deeper, and watering becomes more efficient since the soil holds moisture better. The best part is that this method costs nothing at all. Most households throw away coffee grounds every day, not realizing they're actually sitting on one of the best natural soil enhancers out there. With just a bucket for collection and a watering can for dilution, you've got everything you need to turn waste into life. When you see worms fighting over the buried scraps, it's not just a fun sight, it's proof that your soil is alive and thriving. Every gardener wants that kind of living soil because it means less reliance on store-bought fertilizers and more natural resilience against pests and disease. Worms become your silent partners, working day and night to improve the ground beneath your feet. So next time you brew a pot of coffee, don't toss those grounds into the trash. Instead, think of them as a secret weapon for your garden. Bury them with care, balance them with carbon, and watch as worms race to do the work that no tool or fertilizer can match. Healthy soil doesn't happen by accident. It's built from the ground up with smart choices and natural processes. Coffee grounds may seem ordinary, but in the garden they're extraordinary. Try this method in your own beds, and you'll see why earthworms fight over them. If you found this guide valuable, make sure to hit that subscribe button on Crop Corner and share this with a fellow gardener who could use a boost in their soil health. Together, we can keep building gardens that are not only productive but alive with the magic of earthworms.